Assalamualaikum and a very good morning everyone. I'm here to present a topic entitled Adaptation from Prosumerism Idea in Conceptualizing the Benefidonors Concept. I would like to give credit to the Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi for awarding us the KKP grant to conduct the research. I'll just read through the abstract. This is the conceptual article and it includes an examination of literature review on Wakaf from 2011 to 2020. Well, according to the findings in the literature, we found out that use more can occur among beneficiaries for various types of Wakaf and different types of beneficiaries. Whereby donors' characteristics as well as internal and external aspects of incentive all contribute to the phrase donate more. Share more refers to the information exchange between three parties of Wakaf, manager, mutawali, donors and recipients. Wakaf prosumers is a term where it encourages donors in which the same person plays all three roles of beneficiaries, donors and volunteers in order to disseminate information. The Benefidonor concept is dependent on the interaction between the three parties. The three parties share common interest in cultivating the quality of growth and change as evidenced by the same points of view on use more, donate more and share more. Furthermore, we discovered that in order for the donor to repeat, accountability and reporting are critical. Mutual assistance is the spirit thought and followed throughout the Muslim communities of Mecca and Medina by Prophet Muhammad. During the early time of Islam, resources were shared and helped in many ways that bonded the community to be strong in fighting economic and political obstacles. So learning from the Prophet Sunnah, the Islamic communities practice Wakaf or resource sharing to economically empower one another. Wakaf adoption literature in Turkey presented evidence that Wakaf has fueled economic growth in Muslim communities where religious activities and public amenities such as health and education are given. Wakaf therefore encourages the self-sufficiency of a community that helps each other by sharing resources through asset transfer and knowledge and skill sharing among community members, which led to financial inclusions. Whereas prosumerism and altruism, according to Toffler in 1980, they used the term prosumer to refer to a concept comparable to mutual aid or ta'awun by combining the words producer and consumer. Toffler quoted in his writing as people consume what they produce. They were neither producers nor consumers in the usual sense, then this is called prosumers. In appreciating the mutual aid concept, which has existed since the time of the Prophet Muhammad till today, the concept of prosumerism, which is akin to a mutual assistance, is thus explored. According to Saifullah in 2020, his remark during a prosumerism workshop organized by University Science Islam Malaysia that prosumers, as outlined by Evelyn Toffler in 1980, it was developed through three waves of civilization. The first wave occurred thousands of years ago during the agrarian economic era. The second wave occurred during the Industrial Revolution, and the third wave occurred during the Information and Knowledge Age. Prosumerism can be one of the practical ways to promote entrepreneurship agenda in the university, where prosumerism concept is closely related to the DIY or do-it-yourself concept that promotes the concept of learn more, make more, and share more. This concept of DIY, it raises since 1970 when a DIY pregnancy test kit invaded the pharmacies of France, England, and Holland, and other European countries. People learn to carry out surgical procedure, handheld hand examination of breast and pap smears, and handle stethoscope and blood pressure. So the self-care idea was trending and it was accepted by the people. It is about empowering the ordinary consumers, and this has the potential to revolutionize the sharing economy by giving back to consumers. For example, today we can easily download free open source software, courseware, and even hardware designs. This means more consumers may leverage on the freebies, and their active participation in production has a knock-off effect of cheaper product. And this prosumer idea is also called altruism. So altruism is an act of selfless or unselfish for the well-being of other people. So there is a belief that fundamentally humans are self-interest. But research found out that our first impulse to do is to cooperate rather than to compete. You see? So for example, toddlers spontaneously help people in need out of their genuine concern. Hence, mutual assistance or ta'awun, prosumers, and altruism are concepts that promoting human well-being through selfless act, as mentioned by Nur Atikah Atan and Fuada Juari in 2017. Therefore, this paper aims to conceptualize beneficiaries, donors, or a learning model from the perspective of prosumer. We borrow the concept from prosumerism for us to be able to develop Benefidonors concept. As the concept suggests, the transformational impact of the components of the players within the movement, the Benefidonor cyclic transformation is therefore coined as Benefidonors from here on. Let us look at the literature review. Wakaf is defined as a donation of property, either explicitly or implicitly, for any charity or religious object, or to secure any benefit to human beings in Islamic language. Thus, in order to satisfy the genuine meaning of the term wakaf in Islam, wakaf property must be in a good shape, permanent, and the wakaf objective must be to bring people closer to Allah. It's by providing social welfare. Because the property was entirely granted in Allah's name, the Waqif no longer has any right to it. A person or individual who endows a portion of his or her property with the goals of granting Waqaf is referred to as an Al-Waqif. Whereas for prosumerism and consumer merchant, according to Cullen J. 2020, as quoted from Toffler 1980, prosumerism was first coined by Alvin Toffler in his book The Third Wave to denote people who produce some of the goods and services by then consume themselves. For example, by making their own clothes, building their own cars, or cultivating vegetables for their kitchen. Alvin Toffler's notion of prosumer and prosumerism provide an appropriate theoretical foundation for examining various types or various levels of engagement and involvement of individuals. Prosumerism is defined as the increased involvement of consumers or customers in the production process, as evidenced by the use of customer feedback and direct design requests in high-tech industries such as computer-aided manufacturing system, and the rise of customization in both the gold and services market. This is quoted from Aldred MV in 2017. Many users or customers now work on both sides of market as consumers and producers. So this term is derived from the term prosumers, which is defined by R. Ford J. Whitaker and et al. In 2016 as a consumer of energy who also produce energy to meet their needs, and who, if their production exceeds their requirement, will sell, store, or trade the excess energy. On another instance, prosumerism is increasingly considered as a solution to the issues confronting energy systems. This is cited from Brown et al. 2020. Prosumerists in this view promote the adoption of DES, where energy is both generated and used locally. So from this we can see that in the past, prosumerism has been applied in various industry, and it is very recent that we are going to apply this to wakaf as well. Whereas consumer merchant, this is the concept, PG Mall very own real profit sharing current business concept that manage consumers or shoppers, young and old, to be entrepreneurs and establish a lasting business empire. It is essentially a profit sharing scheme designed to benefit PG Mall customers by awarding them with cashback ranging from 0.5% to 3.5% on every successful purchase. So this concept also available for referring new customer under PG Mall. This is cited from Wira Louis Ng Chun Hao 2020. Despite the fact that this consumer merchant idea and its cycle method might be related to transformation of beneficiaries into donors and vice versa, it is mostly used in business world. Consumer and merchant concepts are based on the two-sided market theory and customer adoption and merchant acceptance of the chosen merchant card in the use. So after talking about the wakaf and prosumerism and consumer merchant, I'm going to bring your attention into the concept of benefidonors. Okay, concept of benefidonors, it is a combination, or it combines the prosumers and consumer merchant per se. In nature, prosumer is about empowering regular customer, and it has the potential to revolutionize the sharing economy through active consumer engagement. It also implies that customers are both producer and consumers. Many of us already prosumers since we can really download free open source software, courseware, and even hardware design, and allowing us to take advantage of the latest technology. As a result, more consumers will be able to take advantage of those freebies, resulting in cheaper items as a result of their active engagement in manufacturing. Naturally, this has changed the way people think about sharing, according to Saifullah et al. As a result, the operation definition of the benefidonors concept in this study refers to beneficiaries who use wakaf more, share or encourage others to use wakaf product, and from the savings that the individual has made will be used to invest in other wakaf product and transform the economy So the benefidonors idea will be built on the fact emphasized by the benefidonors teams. Okay, this is idea we borrow from the prosumerism concept, that is use more, donate more, and share more. Okay, the method that we use to conceptualize this is actually using secondary data or data from the past literature. Data and information gathered through library research, especially scholarly publication published both locally and internationally. To put it in another way, it's a conceptual examination of prior research and studies conducted between 2011 and 2021. There were about 1,331 wakaf literature that found between 1957 and 2017, with 289 works focusing on the function of wakaf in poverty reduction between 2006 and 2016. This is from Atika, Atan, and Fuadah. They cited in their, as recited from their paper. As a result of this research concentrating on beneficiaries, there are more literatures in the disciplines of wakaf and Islamic social finance from 20 to 21. So as a result and discussion, first is about the conceptualizing benefidonor from prosumer framework in wakaf research. Benefidonors who use the prosumer notion perform in three roles. You see, it is strongly tied to do it yourself or to create another way. Volunteers who promote the principles of using, sharing, and donating more. Benefidonors is a hybrid term that coined from the word beneficiaries and donors. with the interaction of sharing information in order to promote wakaf and attract new donors and beneficiaries to join the wakaf ecosystem. Volunteering in wakaf is not a new concept. According to Mufid Suryani and Nidia Suaibatul Adawiyah in 2017, they argue that when the government is unable to benefit the people through its programs, the volunteer sector might be considered as a viable option. It is also agreed to a research done by Agung Abdullah in 2020, where their aims is to investigate the sincerity element of the primary motivator for working in non-profit organizations, particularly wakaf institutions. So the study discovered that sincerity and voluntary conduct can outweigh economic reason, implying the effort done is worthwhile. According to Bing Haya and Saina Kasim 2017, the quality of volunteers is diverse. Government ministries have started a volunteering scheme for modest wakaf institutions within the goal of long-term and positive social impact. The majority of wakaf institutions promote the initiative through internet promotion, advertisement, and government assistance. Volunteers come from many walks of life, and the primary sources of funding are recent graduates, adult employees, and retirees. So wakaf has proved effective in education institutions such as Islamic boarding schools, where all charitable activities are managed with sincerity and volunteers. Nonetheless, they suggest to investigate the sincerity and volunteer component in other sorts of wakaf areas. This is as said by Mufid Suryani 2017. As demonstrated in figure 2, volunteers and wakaf volunteers can coexist in the Benefidonor framework. So this is how we conceptualize the Benefidonor concept, where donate more, share more, and use more is coined as one term, even though it is in practice nowadays, but it's never been coined, it's never been put as if we are actually practicing it in a way that it is supposed to be practiced. So in conclusion, wakaf is an Islamic social finance. Wakaf is an Islamic social finance system that has a significant influence on the economic well-being of its recipient. As a consequence, wakaf encourages a community to be self-sufficient through sharing resources, through asset transfer, knowledge and skill sharing, and financial inclusion. Most wakaf research analysis on the cyclic impact and the conversion of receiver to donors is absent. The operation definition of the Benefidonors concept in this study is based on Toffler's 1980 concept of prosumers and the USIM agenda in 2020, and also borrowing concept from consumerism. Hence, prosumerism and consumerism are used to conceptualize the Benefidonors concept. I think with that, I thank you.